What is the definition of producer to you guys? Just tell me that, and what makes a good producer that you can, make these successful projects from a producer's point of view?
I'm happy to hand that one off while I think of an answer.
I think it's got to be perseverance and tenacity and willing to take no. And every phone call you get or email is bad news. And you just have to keep fighting the fight. And everyone's going to keep telling you.
That's getting a big laugh here from this crowd.
Isn't that true? I mean, it's just like every time you open an email or read it, you're
But you really have to believe in the project and the directors and the writers and just keep fighting. There's something about it. I mean, I think the projects where everyone says yes immediately, there's something pretty much down the middle about it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the ones where a bunch of people are like, no way, you can't make that movie, but there's one or two people that are wildly passionate, those have the potential to be something really special. So I think you just have to be willing. I always call it like sticking your face into the fan blade. Like you just, every day, you have to be willing.
That's a lovely image.
But you really just know there's a lot of pain that's going to come from every phone call you make and every meeting you have, and you just have to keep pushing it in there until you get it done.
Everyone's going to leave this thing so depressed.
No, but the great news is if you don't give up, that's when you get...
Well, someone once, I won't name names, but someone once was saying they were going to leave the movie business. And I remember this person who we all know, and I'll tell you who it is later, was like, the movies don't love you back. They just don't love you back. You love them so much and they don't love you back. And the truth is that is very often true. But if you really love them and you stick with it and you put your face in that fan blade because you love them that much, every once in a while, they will love you back. And I can tell you that when it gets reciprocated, when you get to tell a story like Spectacular Now or Arrival or Stranger Things, it is the greatest thing in the world. But it takes that grit and that persistence and that belief. You have to just really believe that they're worth it.
I totally agree with everything Dan said. I think the other main thing really is protecting, in the sense that these projects individually are very special for different reasons, whether it be on the page or the filmmakers themselves, or usually both. There's a lot of places along the way, whether it's who you bring on to make it with, in any respect, that can compromise that or that want to. And it's funny, after we made Arrival, after we made Stranger Things and Ezra Lynn Post and with Kin, we kind of go back and look at the lookbooks that these guys made, and I think part of the success is that they made that movie. I've seen the movie, and now I'm looking back at the books of this is what the movie is when they first made it, and they got to make it.
Well, to protect that kind of the purity of your intention. Because there's so many forces and voices that are kind of chip away at this, soften the edge of that. And so really our job, look, we want to end up making things that a lot of people see, because that is the goal. Otherwise we'd sit in a room and just paint for ourselves. We are in the movie and television business. The idea is to connect with people. So we want that, but the protection of that vision and that voice, that's our job. And we take it seriously.
Sometimes it requires us pushing back to the filmmakers and saying, we think this is the wrong route, here's why, and it doesn't always go cleanly, but I think part of it is that, and having your own point of view of how you think you can get it there, especially if it's a first-time filmmakers, which is a lot of where I come in. So.